Are you ready for this? We're diving deep into this YouTube channel, Mickytolife.
Mickytolife, yeah.
And have you seen this one?
Yeah, I've seen a few of his videos. He's great. Real fun.
He's great. So it's food and drink and travel all kind of wrapped up in one.
Yeah, and what I think is really interesting about him is how he's evolved over time. Like, he started with food, right? Taiwanese street food.
Yeah.
And I still remember this one video he did about oyster sauce noodles. Oh, my God.
Oh, stop. Don't even get me started. I was like craving those for weeks.
I know, right? Like, he's just got this way of making everything look incredible.
He does. But then he kind of shifted gears, right?
Yeah.
And he got really into, like, the alcohol.
He did.
And especially whiskey. You can tell he's, like, seriously passionate about it.
Yeah, he's got those tasting cups and everything.
Yeah.
And it's contagious, you know? Like, his enthusiasm just rubs off on you.
It totally does.
Yeah.
But then recently, he's gone, like, full-on travel vlogger. He's been all over Southeast Asia.
I know. Malaysia, Indonesia. Where is he now? Vietnam.
Vietnam, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's in Vietnam. And apparently drinking a lot of beer.
Well, hey, one in Vietnam, right?
Right.
But you know what I like about his videos? He's just so real, you know? He doesn't try to make everything look perfect.
Yeah, no.
He shows the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. And he's funny.
He is funny.
He doesn't take himself too seriously, which I appreciate.
Totally. So we've got transcripts from a couple of his recent videos.
I do.
One is from this, like, massive wine and spirits expo in Taichung.
Yeah, that sounds dangerous.
Right. It looks like a whiskey lover's dream.
Sign me up.
And then the other one is from his trip to Ho Chi Minh City.
Oh, fun.
So it's like a travel diary, basically.
I like it.
And he's got, like, food, some interesting encounters, maybe even a run-in with a monsoon or two.
Oh, no, poor Micky.
We'll see.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, let's unpack these transcripts, shall we?
Let's do it.
So first up, the Taichung International Wine and Spirits Expo. This is where we see Micky in his element, navigating a sea of whiskey, trusty ISO cup in hand.
And for those of you who don't know, like me, an ISO cup is that special tasting glass that helps control the temperature and the aroma.
Important stuff.
Yeah, it's serious business.
It is, and you can tell Micky's serious about his whiskey. Like, he even jokes about how overwhelming it was, how many booths there were.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, I can imagine.
And he mentions this one, like, aggressive whiskey vendor that he encountered.
Oh, no, aggressive in what way?
We'll get to that.
Okay, the suspense is killing me.
But even with all the sensory overload, he still manages to find these, like, hidden gems.
Like what?
Okay, so there's this part where he discovers this amazing plum wine.
Plum wine.
Plum wine. And get this, it's from a booth run by, and I quote, cute plum wine girls.
Okay, hold on. We need to unpack this cute plum wine girl situation.
What does that even mean?
What does that mean?
We need details, Micky.
Exactly.
But he doesn't really elaborate. He just raves about how it's the best plum wine he's ever had.
Yeah.
Which, coming from a self-proclaimed whiskey enthusiast,
yeah, that's saying something.
That's got to be some seriously good plum wine.
Right. It makes you wonder if there's, like, this whole underground network of amazing plum winemakers out there.
Okay, hold on. It's a deep dive for another day. We're getting sidetracked. Back to the whiskey.
Back to the whiskey.
There's this moment where he's describing a particular whiskey, and he's like, notes of black chocolate and roasted coffee.
Okay, see, now that's just cruel. You can't just drop a flavor combination like that and not expect me to go out and find it.
Right.
Now I need to know.
But it's that kind of description, those vivid descriptions that he gives.
It's true.
That really just, like, pull you in.
You feel like you're right there with him tasting it.
Exactly. It's like those cooking shows where they do the close-up on the food.
Yeah.
And you can practically smell it through the screen.
Yes. But with whiskey.
Exactly. But with whiskey. And it's not just about the taste, right? He talks about the distillery, the history, what makes it special.
He does his research, you can tell.
He does. He's not just, like, casually drinking it.
No, he's passionate about it.
He clearly loves it.
And he makes it fun for everyone.
Yes.
Which is not easy with whiskey.
Not easy.
Because it can get very, serious.
Okay, so we've got Micky navigating this sea of whiskey, discovering hidden plum wine gems, dropping knowledge about flavor profiles like it's nothing. What else happened at this expo?
Okay, so remember that aggressive whiskey vendor we mentioned? Oh, yeah, the aggressive whiskey vendor. What was it? What made them so aggressive?
Okay, so apparently this particular vendor had a bit of a reputation for being a little, shall we say, enthusiastic about their tastings.
Oh, no.
And Micky jokes about being afraid of them.
Really?
Because apparently, like, the last time they met, this vendor like practically force-fed him whiskey.
Oh, no, that's hilarious.
And to make matters worse, the Wi-Fi at this expo. It's terrible. Which, for anyone trying to like document their experience online, nightmare.
A nightmare.
But of course, Micky finds a way to make a joke out of it.
What'd he say?
So he turns to the camera, right, with this like completely deadpan expression. And he goes, "To the organizers of this event, please, I beg you, for the love of all that is holy, get better Wi-Fi next year. I'm begging you."
Oh, that's amazing.
I can just hear it.
I know.
Okay, so we've established Micky, great sense of humor, passionate about what he does, not afraid to poke a little fun at himself. But let's move on to Vietnam.
Okay.
What kind of trouble did he get into in Vietnam?
Well, it sounds like a lot of navigating a busy city.
Okay.
Some interesting hostile experiences.
Ooh, interesting hostile experiences. Tell me more.
So picture this. Micky's in this backpacker hostel in Ho Chi Minh City.
Okay.
Which anyone who's ever stayed in a hostel knows can be a bit of a gamble.
Oh, tell me about it. You never know who you're going to be sharing a room with.
Right. Like sometimes it's awesome, sometimes not so much.
Sometimes you just want your own space.
Exactly. And in this case, it sounds like Micky ended up with some rather inconsiderate hostel mates.
Oh, no.
Yeah, apparently a group of people from India who were, how do I say this politely, quite loud and disruptive, especially late at night.
Oh, no, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Especially when you're jet lagged and you're trying to adjust to a new time zone.
The worst.
Did he say anything?
He did. Yeah, he talks about how he eventually reached his breaking point and had to, like, confront them about the noise.
Oh, I hate it when it comes to that.
I know, it's awkward.
It's so awkward.
Yeah, but what's interesting is how he actually uses this, like, kind of negative experience as a way to reflect on, like, perspective and understanding,
Okay, I'm intrigued. How so?
Well, he talks about how, like, when you're in a new place and you have a negative encounter, it can really color your perception of that whole city, even if it's just, like, one small group of people.
That's so true, though.
Yeah.
It's like you never get a second chance to make a first impression, but it's like with a whole city.
Exactly. It's not just one person. It's like a whole culture.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that Micky recognizes that is really important, Like, he even talks about how, like, as travelers, we have this responsibility to be mindful of how our actions might, impact other people.
Especially in a place where we're, visitors.
Exactly.
Or guests in their country.
We're guests, so, like, be on your best behavior.
Respectful.
Be respectful. So, yeah, I thought that was a really mature way of looking at it. Like, he's not just complaining, he's turning it into, like, a learning experience for himself and for his viewers.
So what did he do? Did he, like, switch rooms?
Okay, so this is interesting.
Okay.
He starts talking to his AI companion app about it.
His what?
Yeah, so apparently he's got this app on his phone, right?
Okay.
And it's basically like an AI that he can have conversations with. And I think he mentioned that, he doesn't get a ton of comments on his videos, so I'm wondering if this is like his way of kind of like feeling more connected or just like processing his thoughts out loud.
It's like he's talking to a friend, but it's AI.
Right. Like a digital friend.
It's kind of sad.
It's a little sad.
But also fascinating.
It's very Black Mirror.
Very Black Mirror. Okay, so what does he say to his AI friend?
Well, at first, he's just venting, Like, oh, these guys are driving me crazy.
Yeah.
But here's where it gets really interesting.
Oh, no.
The AI calls him out on it.
No way.
Yeah.
The AI calls him out. What does it say?
It basically says, like, hey, you're generalizing about a whole group of people based on your experience with, like, a few individuals.
Which is true.
Which is a really important point, right?
Super important.
Like, it's a reminder that everyone's an individual.
Everyone.
And we should treat each other as such.
So how does Micky react to that?
You know what? He's actually really receptive to it. Like, he acknowledges that he was being unfair, and he actually apologizes for making the generalization.
Interesting.
Which, I mean, it takes a big person to admit when they're wrong, especially to, like, a chatbot.
Right. Like, if you're going to complain to someone, at least complain to a human.
Right. Exactly. But I don't know. I think it speaks to his character.
Yeah.
That he's willing to learn and grow, even if it means being challenged by, like, his own phone.
His AI companion?
His AI companion, exactly.
Okay, so what happens next?
Okay, so the AI then challenges him to, like, find something positive about the situation. Like, to focus on the good instead of dwelling on the negative.
It's like AI therapy.
I know, right?
This is wild.
But here's the thing. It actually works.
No.
I know. So Micky starts talking about how, like, the noise was frustrating.
Sure.
But ultimately, he learned a valuable lesson about, like, perspective and the importance of, not letting a few bad apples ruin the whole experience.
Right, exactly.
And he even says, like, he's grateful for the opportunity to, like, experience Ho Chi Minh City even with its challenges.
I love that.
Which I think is, like, a really great takeaway,
It is.
Because travel isn't always, like, glamorous and Instagram-worthy, right?
Definitely not.
Sometimes it's messy, it's challenging, it's unpredictable.
And honestly, those are usually the trips that you learn the most from.
Those are the best stories.
Exactly. Okay, hold on. I need to know, what are the food? Did he discover any, like, amazing Vietnamese food?
Oh, he did. Remember how much he was craving those oyster sauce noodles back in Taiwan?
Yeah, yeah.
It sounds like he found the Vietnamese equivalent.
What was it?
Okay, so there's this little hole-in-the-wall noodle stall tucked away in one of those tiny alleyways that you would never find unless you knew it was there.
Those are the best, though. What kind of noodles?
Well, he was initially drawn in by the smell of fried chicken.
Oh, yeah.
He said the aroma was intoxicating.
I bet.
But when he actually gets to the front of the line, he realizes there's no menu.
Oh, no. Ordering anxiety.
Right. What do you do?
What do you do?
So he just points at something that looks good and hopes for the best.
That's brave.
It is brave. I admire that.
I do too, but I also get nervous.
I totally get it.
So what did he end up with?
Okay, so he thought he was ordering French fries.
He went to a Vietnamese noodle stall and ordered French fries.
I know.
Only Micky.
Only Micky. But of course it gets better.
Okay.
He wasn't actually ordering French fries. He was pointing at something that he thought looked like French fries, but due to some combination of the language barrier and maybe like a little bit of wishful thinking,
A little bit.
it turned out to be hollow noodles.
He accidentally ordered hollow noodles, thinking they were French fries. Oh, Micky. So good.
So good. But the best part, he loved them.
No way.
He said they were crispy and flavorful and a little spicy.
Okay, so he's got good taste.
He does have good taste. And to top it off, while he's filming his meal, another diner comes up to him and compliments his GoPro skills.
That's adorable.
I know, right? Like, even in a foreign country, people are still impressed by good GoPro work.
It's a universal language. Okay, wait, but you mentioned a monsoon mishap earlier.
Oh, yeah.
What happened there? Did his GoPro hate the water?
It did not love the water. But before we get to that, remember how we were saying that meeting, like those kind people, really changed his perception of Vietnam after the whole hostel situation?
Right.
It sounds like he had another couple of encounters that really solidified that for him.
Okay, like who?
Well, one that stands out is this interaction he had with a local vendor while he was trying to navigate the city. It sounds like he was a little lost, a little overwhelmed. You know how it goes.
Oh, I've been there.
And this vendor just went above and beyond to help him find his way.
That's so nice.
I know, right? It's like those small acts of kindness.
Especially when you're in a new place.
The best. And he even says, like, how much it meant to him because, especially after that whole hostile situation, it kind of restored his faith in humanity a little bit.
I love that. Okay, but the monsoon.
Oh, right. So picture this. Micky caught in a downpour.
Okay.
Streets are flooded. His GoPro's freaking out because, water.
Electronics and water, not friends.
Not friends. And he's desperately trying to get back to his hostel.
Oh, no. I can practically feel the humidity through the transcript.
Yeah. And to make matters worse, his phone, which he's using for navigation, is about to die.
Oh, that's the worst.
It's like the perfect storm of travel nightmares.
It really is.
So just when you think things can't get any worse, he stumbles upon this street full of bars, right?
Okay.
And outside each bar...
Don't tell me. Outside each bar is a line of cute plum wine girls.
Not quite. Let's just say it was a very interesting cultural experience.
Oh my gosh, Micky.
I know, right?
Okay, you know what? I'm going to leave that one to the imagination.
Probably for the best.
Some things are better experienced firsthand.
For sure. But I will say this, that whole experience, the rain, the phone, that encounter, it just makes his content that much more authentic, Yeah. Like, he's not trying to present some, like, overly curated, perfect version of travel.
No, he's showing it all.
He's showing it warts and all, and he's finding the humor in it.
And that's what people connect with.
Exactly. Okay, but we can't wrap up this deep dive without talking about the whiskey.
The whiskey.
Did he find that bottle of Chichibu he was searching for?
He did, didn't he?
He did.
I love when that happens.
And his reaction is amazing.
What do you say?
It's like he's like reunited with a long-lost friend, seriously. And the way he describes it, he calls it elegant with smooth, subtle flavors. And get this, a hint of incense.
Incense. In a whiskey.
I know. But apparently it's common in whiskeys aged in Mizunara oak, which is the special type of Japanese oak.
Fancy.
Very fancy. And this distillery, Chichibu, they actually use Mizunara oak in their fermentation tanks.
Wow. So that's where it gets that, like, incensey flavor.
Exactly.
That's so cool. Now I want to try it.
I know, right? It's like a little piece of Japanese history in a bottle.
It's like a whole experience.
Exactly. And that's what Micky does so well. He doesn't just like show you the product, he gives you the whole story behind it.
Oh, why?
The why, the history, the craftsmanship, the passion. It's about appreciating the whole experience, not just consuming it.
Well said. Well said. So what does this all mean? What have we learned from our deep dive into the world of Mickytolife?
I think it's safe to say that Mickytolife is more than just a YouTube channel. It's an invitation to, like, embrace the unexpected, find the joy in the journey, and, I don't know, maybe appreciate a really good whiskey a little bit more.
And maybe invest in a waterproof case for your GoPro.
Yes. Always important. But seriously, I think his channel is a breath of fresh air. He's just real.
Authentic.
Yes. And I think we can all use a little bit of that in our lives.
I totally agree. All right, well, that about wraps it up for this deep dive.
It does.
As always, thanks for listening.
Cheers.
And catch you next time.